You know how some people say they don't believe in spirits or demons or whatever? Like, oh, I'm not superstitious, I'm logical. I don't believe in anything I can't see. Yeah, I used to be like that, but I think that only works until something sees you back. I've never talked about this before. Not to friends, not even to most of my family. Just once, to my grandma. And only because I had to. Because I thought something had taken over my mind. Or maybe something else was trying to live through me. This isn't a story about ghosts flying around or doors slamming in the night. It's just about a feeling. A really specific one. Like something attached itself to me and didn't want to leave. I was 9. I still remember that exact age because it was the year I stopped being scared of walking home alone. At least, I thought I'd stopped being scared. Where I lived, we didn't have big roads or buses or anything like that. Just a few small dirt paths, one of them cutting through a little patch of trees. It wasn't even a real forest, just a dense stretch of woods between the school and my neighborhood. Most kids avoided it, especially after dark, but I used it all the time. I always felt like something was watching, not every time, but sometimes it would hit me so hard, I'd just start running. I didn't look back. I didn't even breathe properly. Just this panic that grabbed me out of nowhere. But this one time, this one day, I didn't run. I don't know why. Maybe I was sick of being scared. Maybe I wanted to prove to myself that it was all in my head. So I walked, slowly, deliberately. It was late, sun was gone, and the trees made it even darker. You couldn't see the sky at all. Just a few patches of fading light coming through the branches. I remember my heart was pounding, but I didn't stop. At first, it felt like usual, like I was being watched. But then something changed. It wasn't the same scattered feeling of being surrounded. It felt focused, like only one thing was looking at me. And it was close, right behind me, not beside me, not up in the trees, behind me. I felt it with this deep, terrible certainty. And then, it touched me. No, more like it passed into me, cold. Not just outside, inside, like something went straight through my back and settled into my chest. Every hair on my body stood up. My breath just stopped. I couldn't move. I couldn't even panic. It was like my nervous system didn't know how to react. And then, just as fast, I bolted. I don't even remember how I got home. Just that I ran the entire way and threw myself into my grandma's arms. She held me and asked what was wrong, but I couldn't talk. I just stood there shaking. I didn't say anything about it, and maybe if it had ended there, I would have forgotten. Maybe I would have convinced myself it was just a weird panic attack. But it didn't end. The dreams started that same week. At first, they were just strange, like wandering through endless woods, never finding a way out, hearing whispers, but not understanding the words, always ending in the same feeling, like I had lost something, but I didn't know what. But then they changed. I remember one night, I dreamed I was standing in my kitchen with a knife in my hand. I didn't know how it got there. I wasn't doing anything with it, but I was just holding it, frozen, and someone was crying behind me. Another night, I dreamed I stepped out onto a road and watched a car hit my mum. Just stood there and watched. Didn't move, didn't scream. They weren't nightmares exactly. I didn't wake up screaming or anything, but I woke up cold, heart pounding, like I had done something wrong. And worst of all, they didn't feel like normal dreams. It wasn't my imagination running wild. It felt like someone was putting them in my head. I'd never had thoughts like that before. I loved my family. I wasn't angry. I wasn't violent. I'd never even hit anyone. So why was I dreaming about hurting people? Why did I wake up with this weight in my chest like I'd actually done it? I still didn't tell anyone, not even my grandma. But it kept happening. And then something happened that made me realize it wasn't just in my mind anymore. Something that still makes my hands shake when I talk about it. It was around a year after that night in the woods. By then, the dreams hadn't stopped. If anything, they were getting worse. I wasn't just seeing things, I was feeling them. Waking up with this tight pressure in my chest, my hands clenched so hard they left marks, like my body was acting out whatever I was seeing in the dream. But what really scared me was that during the day, I started getting flashes, not full dreams, just sudden, vivid images, like intrusive thoughts, but more intense. I'd be walking through the school hallway and suddenly picture pushing someone down the stairs. Not because I wanted to. I didn't. It made me sick just thinking about it. But the image would just be there. Clear. Immediate. Like my brain wasn't mine anymore. It wasn't every day. But it was often enough that I started to avoid people. I was scared of myself. I didn't trust my own thoughts. Still, I kept it all inside. Until the fight. That was the moment everything crossed a line. I was in 7th grade. There was this kid, same age as me, who had been picking on me for months. You know the type. He'd push my books off the desk, flick the back of my head in class. Little stuff. Nothing big enough for a teacher to step in, but it chipped away at me. One day after school, he cornered me behind the gym. I thought he was just going to call me names, maybe shove me a little. But this time, he had something in his hand, a metal rod, like part of a broken chair leg or something. He grinned, like it was a game. I remember saying, "Why are you doing this?" And he just shrugged. Then he swung it at me, hit me right in the ribs. And in that moment, everything went black. Not passed out black, just gone. I didn't feel pain. I didn't hear anything. My ears were ringing, but it was like the sound was underwater. The world just faded. And then I moved, but it didn't move me. My fist came up, fast, hard. It hit him square in the stomach, and he dropped, gasping, crying. I stood over him, breathing heavy, and for a second I didn't recognize myself. I wasn't angry. I wasn't anything, just cold, blank, like there was a wall between me and my body. That was the moment I knew something had fully taken over. The teachers broke it up. I got sent home early. I didn't get suspended, maybe because the kid admitted he started it. But that wasn't what mattered. What mattered was what I felt. I didn't feel proud. I didn't feel guilty. I felt disconnected, like I'd blacked out and come back to find out I'd done something I didn't even remember choosing. And then back at home, my grandma sat me down. She looked at me in this way she never had before. Not angry, not disappointed, just concerned. She said, "This isn't you. I know you. Something's wrong. What is it?" I think I was just tired of holding it all in. So I told her everything. I told her about the forest path, the night I felt something go through me, the way it wrapped around my chest, the dreams, the visions, the way my thoughts weren't always mine. I told her about how I felt in the fight, that I didn't feel like I was the one who hit that kid. I was expecting her to tell me I needed help, or that I was imagining things, but she didn't. She just sat there quietly. Then she said, "We're going to see someone tomorrow." We went to a small church the next afternoon. Not even in town. My grandma drove us 2 hours to get there. I didn't ask why. I just went. There was a priest there, older man, calm, kind, quiet. He asked me to sit with him in a small side room and tell him what I'd told my grandma. So I did. He didn't interrupt once, just listened, nodded. And when I was done, he sat back, folded his hands, and said something I'll never forget. He said, "There are spirits tied to the land, not ghosts, not demons, just things, old things. Some of them are angry, some of them are lost. And sometimes they find their way into people, not because they hate them, just because they can." He said what I described sounded like a forest spirit. Some of them guard the woods, and when they feel disrespected or disturbed, they cling to the easiest target, the youngest, the softest, the one with the most open heart. He said the spirit wasn't trying to haunt me, it was trying to be me, to live again, through me. I didn't want to believe it, but also, it made more sense than anything else. And then he said, "We can help." I didn't know what to expect when he said, "We can help." I guess I thought it would be dramatic, like in movies, chanting, screaming. Maybe I'd convulse or something. But it wasn't like that. It was gentle. The priest asked me to sit in a small room behind the chapel. He opened a window so I could see the trees swaying just outside. It was almost peaceful. Then he brought out this small metal bowl with water in it, whispered something over it, and dipped his fingers in. He didn't make a big show of anything, just touched my forehead, said a few soft prayers. He asked me to close my eyes, to just breathe, not to force anything, just let whatever was inside me be seen, be spoken to, and be released. And so I sat there, eyes closed, not expecting anything. But then it started again. That feeling I'd had in the forest, the cold, not around me, inside me. My chest tightened, my arms felt heavy, my breath shortened, like there wasn't enough air in the room. And I swear I heard something, not out loud, not a voice in the air, but something in my head, like a whisper behind a wall. It didn't say words, it was just a presence, angry, tired, clinging. I opened my eyes and told the priest, "It's here. I feel it, right now." He just nodded, as if he already knew. He said, "Don't fight it, don't hate it, just let it go. It's not yours to carry." He placed his hand on my shoulder and started praying again, louder this time, but not shouting. It sounded like a lullaby and a warning at the same time. And then it left. I don't know how else to describe it. It just loosened. The cold pulled back. My chest relaxed. My breath came easier. It felt like something that had wrapped itself around me for so long had finally unclenched its grip. I cried, not like sobbing, just tears coming out without even knowing why. The priest didn't say much after, just told me I'd be okay now, that whatever it was had recognized it couldn't live here anymore. That night, I slept through the whole night for the first time in months. No dreams, no flashes, just sleep. It's been years since then. I never walked that forest path again. Even when I moved out of the area, I still refused to go near it when I visited. Just being on the same street gives me this weird pressure in my chest, like it remembers me. And I remember it. My grandma passed a few years ago. I think she always knew something was off about that place even before I told her. She never doubted me, not once. I think if she hadn't taken me to that priest, I might not have been myself much longer. I don't know what was inside me. I don't think I was possessed exactly, but I know what I felt. And I know that something followed me home that night. And it stayed for a long time. I don't tell this story to scare anyone. I'm telling it because sometimes things happen that don't make sense. And the worst part is thinking you're the only one. So if anyone out there hears this and feels like something's not right inside them. Like something's taken root in their mind, in their dreams. You're not crazy, and you're not alone. Sometimes things follow us, and sometimes they leave us. You just have to ask them to.